Guides in the Gulf.
I think I've got my brisket sorted for the next hour or so, mate. So we should be all good to go.
Good to go, mate.
Yeah, got Ash's big stainless steel smoker out there. Been cooking a beef brisket since, I don't know, probably had a bit of a late start. It's probably 9:30, I think I might have put it on. Ooh. So it's now 3 p.m, so it's probably halfway there.
Nearly.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'd say by the time we stop recording, it'll be time to foil it, I reckon.
Yeah.
Yeah, and let it rest for 3 hours.
Perfect. Yeah. Perfect. You've done a couple before in there, eh?
Yeah, well, this is my second I've done by myself. I've done several with you before.
Yeah, we did one in your absence the other day, I reckon, down at Froggy's. We did a couple.
You've done a lot of stuff in my absence, mate.
Oh. Yeah, we've done a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know, not all that much. A little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, nothing overly exciting, mate. I think you went away for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, had to go home. Yeah, spend some time with the wife and kids as usual, which is always awesome. I love driving back home and the anticipation of getting my first cuddle from them and that. It's always good, a really good feeling for Daddy's home. But yeah, my cousin got married over in Hamilton Island of all places. So to get there from here, it's 2 flights. My parents are here at the moment, and they went to the wedding as well. They flew via Sydney, then back up to Hamilton Island. We flew via Brisbane, then up to Hamilton. Yeah, it's a bugger of a place to get to from here. But it was a beautiful wedding. And so it's always the Whit Sundays of the Northern Territory. We call the Peloo Islands here, but it was a totally different feeling to actually be in the Whit Sundays of the Whit Sundays.
the actual Whit Sundays.
Yeah.
Yeah, how does it compare, mate?
Oh man, like you feel like you're in a tropical oasis there. Like it's a bit different. And everyone booting around in golf buggies and that. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's freaking expensive. Yeah, like a Captain Morgan and Coke was like $17 something for one Captain Morgan.
Wow.
Yeah, it adds up.
Wow, that is expensive.
It is so.
Holy.
Yeah.
So we're not going to Hamilton Island anytime soon.
No, we might need a few more patrons for that on Patreon. Which speaking of Patreon, like we spoke about before we started recording, we do need to do a big thank you. There's only a small handful of you out there, which we have as patrons on Patreon. But thank you so much for your support, guys. Thanks for hanging in there with us. We still endeavour to keep on giving you good content and that. So yeah, stick with us. And if anyone else is interested in getting behind us and backing us with a little bit of money each month, then that'll be appreciated.
Goes a long way.
Yeah, well, not yet, but we do intend on spending every cent from there, like sort of back into the podcast. So whether it's a trip away somewhere to go fishing somewhere, or I don't know, we'll see what happens. But that's our intention, to reinvest it all.
Put everything back in, yeah.
Yeah. So a big thank you to you guys. So what else has been going on, mate?
Oh, heaps, mate, I suppose, really. Like, it's been a few weeks now. So, last podcast we did with Brett out at Weeby.
We did two in 2 days.
Yeah.
We did the previous night, we were on the houseboat.
Yeah.
And then out with Brett, which was great fun. That was good doing it, all the whole podcast kit. We condensed down into, one little box, and, we proved that we can do it on the road. So, that's a good thing as well.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was good fun.
Yeah.
Real good. So, we might try and do a little bit more of that, mate.
Yeah.
Next week or so, we might try and punch out a few.
Yep.
Get a few in the bag, so we're not missing bloody weeks again.
Yeah. Because I reckon, by this time next week, I'll be back in Darwin, I reckon. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Back to Darwin again, mate. No, we've done a fair bit of fishing, though. Just before you went away, we spent a night on the houseboat there. We did the podcast. We got a heap of barras there that night.
Yeah, that was really good fun that night. The thing I find remarkable, like we didn't catch any small barra, no undersized barra. They were all like the minimum size was sort of 70.
Yeah,
you know, they're all good sized fish getting around. So as far as the fishing this year, that's the last time I've been barra fishing.
Yeah.
You did another night just not long ago with
a couple of nights ago, yeah,
with some of the other boys.
Yeah. So we went. We had the fishing comp on here last weekend just gone. So and being this time of year and the sort of demographic of people that are here and the weather, there was just 3 species of photo comp. So catch your fish, put it on the brag mat with your number on there, and take a photo and send it in. The 3 species were, I think, golden snapper, cod and queenfish. So 3 very common, fairly easy to catch fish.
Yep.
And then the
Well, you do have the codmaster and the cod father here. Yeah, so cod is a species that we know fairly well.
yeah. So the idea is, I suppose, with those ones is, it's relatively easy for everyone to catch, fairly accessible for everyone.
Yeah.
So yeah, give everyone an opportunity, and then the way it works is pretty much like first prize $500, second prize $300, and then a mystery prize. So just a mystery one in each of $300 or $200.
Yeah,
or
it was
something.
200. Yeah. So even if you catch a really small fish in the correct category, you can still enter it.
Yeah. It's still in with a chance.
Still send your photo in. Yeah.
Yeah. So we went out early in the morning. We left here like daybreak Saturday morning.
Yeah. So you and your mate Ray went out in a boat, and I took Flanders out. I followed you most of the way, well, half the way, but it was a bit windy and a bit choppy for me, so I stopped at Crocodile Point there.
Yeah. You stopped just out the front there pretty much, and then Ray and I kept going. We didn't go as far as we wanted to because it was fairly windy, a little bit windier than we were sort of hoping for, but no, it was all right. We got up and found some shelter there and pulled up and tried a few different spots. We were all fairly dusty, especially Ray. Ray was his new name's Ray Gun now after the dancer at the Olympics. So. He was Ray Gun that morning, I can tell you, mate, trying to tie his knots in the swell and the waves and being extremely hungover. I don't think he came to bed until about I don't know, because he camped at my place. So I think he came in at about 3 o'clock or 3:30 or something with the girls. And I
was a good boy. I reckon I was home at like 9:30, I reckon.
Oh, yeah, I was like midnight still, but they buy me plenty of Captain Morgan's, mate. And then I think I had about 2 or 3 lined up when I left and went home. I gave them away, mate, because I'd had enough for that night. And we kept going, and we did actually put in the hard yards. We put in a big day's fishing, like all day, and we got all 3 of the species. Both of us got all 3 species, and we got we didn't get any real good goldies. No real big ones anyway, like sort of, that 40, 45 centimetre mark, I think was... That
being said, the winning goldie was only 55, I think.
Yeah,
Alan
so
Baker.
Not huge, yeah. Yeah, definitely not huge. But where we wanted to go is basically I had a plan to go out wide, get a goldie, come back into a spot where there's big queenfish, get a couple of big queenfish, and then go to another spot where I know there's plenty of big cod, and then get a big cod, and then come home. But we missed the goldie spot because it was just both of us were a bit dusty, and it was pretty rough. So we weren't going to go out the extra 15, 20 Ks out to the reef we wanted to have a look at. So we just stayed in close, and we got a heap of goldies, but nothing real big. And then just on the cast, mate, got a good queenie, just under 800 fork length, and then I swapped with Ray, gave him a rod to just cast with into the rocks, and he pulled one out right on 800 or 81 or something. So that ended up being the biggest and second biggest queenie for the comp.
Yeah, wow.
And then went to another spot and got one good cod straight up, which is 800, which again is not a huge one.
Still pretty big. Like if people were just fishing in the creeks and that, they're probably not going to catch one of them.
Yeah, you'd be pretty lucky to get a cod that size in obviously you get gropers and stuff like that in the river, but it's not overly common to get cod that size in the river. Plenty of smaller ones, obviously. But we pulled up there one spot where I used to have marks. I didn't have the marks for it anymore, but just used a side scan to find the rock that I was looking for, and found it, pulled up on top, and within 5 minutes of pulling up there, had a good cod, 800 long. And then we kept trying, and I got absolutely smoked a couple of times and just bricked by heaps bigger ones. And then Ray was the same, got bricked. So they started blowing up even more. So we came back in close to where we left you in the morning. And then by the time we got down the bottom, it had glassed off almost. So we tried 3 or 4 spots along there. And again, both of us got smashed by big cod there. When it started blowing up again later on in the afternoon, we decided to come back in. So we were back in by about, I think, maybe 4 o'clock. We got back to the houseboat, something like that.
I was back at the houseboat having a few beers with Mick and Bullfrog.
Yeah. So we pulled up there, and but that cod that I did get ended up being the biggest cod as well. So
you won, between the two of you, you won 2 categories and came second in another category.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, well, I rated myself as a chance for the biggest cod. I went out to a spot halfway out where you went, and to a spot that I always catch decent cod out there. And when I say always, it's almost always. Yeah, we'll catch decent cod there. And I fished so hard. I stayed out there for hours. As you know, I usually get seasick. Somehow I didn't, even though the boat's rocking and rolling the whole time. I put in the hard yards and I could not get a bloody cod. So I went back inside. I just had enough. Oh, and lost my anchor. Like, it must have worn away on some rocks. So now I've got no anchor. Just coincidentally, for other reasons, I had taken my Minn Kota off. So now I've got no way to keep the boat still. And I'm like, I tried to drift once, and I'm like, no, this is crap. And so I went back in, and I went to a spot that I fish at fairly regularly and just put the nose of the boat up on the mud and just fish over into some mangroves over the back. And I got myself a little baby cod there, a little 31 centimetre, I think it was. I had a chance at the mystery prize there, but no, couldn't get it. But at least I was in the comp. It felt good to actually, it was after
At least send something
fishing fairly hard for 2/3 of the day. At least I got in the comp. I did there was 2 interesting catches. I did keep a blue bone. I caught a blue bone out there.
Yeah, yep.
Not a massive one, but like a decent sized one. It was big enough to take some fillets off, and I cooked it up on your houseboat.
Yeah.
And fed it up to Mick and Bullfrog on little sandwiches. They were pretty good. And,
nice.
And I won't tell you about the other one. You have to wait and watch my video. You already know the story. Oh, I thought you'll be able to. I'll tell you part of it. I thought I caught my first cobia, and anyone that knows will already know what it actually was.
Ray and I did it right, considering like we pulled up at one spot and we're in the shallow reef. Like it's you can virtually see the bottom in dirty water. Like it's only 8 foot, 9 foot deep.
Yep.
You can nearly touch the bottom with the end of your rod. And we ended up getting a heap of goldies. No real big ones. Like I said, the biggest one was maybe 45 or something was the biggest one. But then, Ray got a good blue bone as well. So good parrotfish. We got a couple of Spanish mackerel there, trevally, heaps of tricky snapper, heaps of stripies.
Yeah, far out. Good mixed bag.
Yeah, some real small redfish. But just like enough to keep us interested for like a few hours just at one spot. Then as soon as the tide turned, it sort of went quiet. So we kept moving and went to try and target a cod after that.
Yeah.
But no, it was good, real good weekend, mate. So Mish's last weekend.
Oh yeah. So Mish, that's been the club's secretary for several years now. Yeah. So she, as a volunteer, has been running all sorts of fishing comps.
She's been the treasurer, yeah.
Treasurer, sorry. Yeah, Kathy's the buddy.
Yeah, so she's been our treasurer for the last several years.
Yeah.
And also head caretaker for I don't know, be 5, 6, 7 years or something at least.
Yep. I think I just saw Antoine coming around on the quad. We can set up another mic.
Oh yeah.
Let's get him to come through halfway.
So she's been all go, mate. But he had our AGM last weekend. So
Ash is no longer the club's president.
Whew, thank goodness.
It's a relief for him.
Yeah, it is, mate. A lot of stress gone. So thank God for that.
Yeah.
I still do a few things, mate. Still
might actually get a few improvements done around here now that you're gone, mate.
Yeah.
Nah, he's pretty good.
I still got a few projects I wanted to keep going on, but just needed to have a break for a year. Like I've done 6 out of the last 9 years on the management team now. So the last 3 years as president. So it's good to bloody pull up and have a break for a bit.
Yeah, cool. All right, we're going to cut for 2 seconds because Ash needs a beer and we're going to have a chat with him.
Here's trouble.
Where were we, mate?
Oh, just living the dream, mate. That's where we were.
Yeah.
Anthony just pulled up and brought us a cold beer, so that was
it's better than these warm ones.
Ant's just come down for a quick break.
Yeah.
So, we were just talking about fishing comp, I reckon.
So we got back to the houseboat. So I got there before you. You guys then arrived back a little bit later on. I ended up going home that night. I still come home. And then you guys, Ray. Mick and Mick and Bullfrog.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Mick had his houseboat down there as well. You guys stayed out there. How'd you go fishing then?
Good that night, mate. I think I caught 3 or 4 barras, but I only took it pretty easy. So I had a big night the night before, and then a big day in the sun, and it wasn't the smoothest day. So it was bloody just pretty much kicked back and caught a couple of barras. Bullfrog caught the first one, but yeah, it was a comedy of errors, I suppose.
let me guess. Was the anchor rope involved?
Oh, there was all sorts of ropes involved. Ropes, nets, dogs, beer cans.
Oh, perfect.
all sorts of stuff, mate. So, but no, he did good actually. He got a nice barra straight up. So he was wrapped. He was done for the night then.
I was going to say, I know Bullfrog. He would have retired after that.
Yeah. Then I think Ray got stuck into him for a bit. Mick had to go. I just jumped in my other boat just beside the houseboat and had a couple of casts, and I got like 4 barra like straight up. So I actually brought a couple home. I just had some for lunch today. So
you showed me a picture. It was the you love cooking up the wings, don't you?
Yeah, the barra wings, mate. Yeah, we'll have to do a little thing on that because I know some people struggle with taking the wings out.
Yeah, okay.
So, I had guys at the lodge there a couple of years ago and they were filleting all their fish. And I said, what are you going to take the wings out of these barra? They said, no, it's too bloody hard, mate. So we used to buy these little cheap bolt cutters and then cut the bone and that, but it's just all too hard. So I showed them a little trick, where you can cut in between the bones to get around it. And, they were absolutely blown away because, they were the same. They're like, oh, we love the wings, but they're just so much work to get out. And once I showed them, there's a little gap between the bones. If you get the knife in there and go, it's something you'd have to video and watch it to explain it. But a lot of people will know exactly what I'm talking about though. Where the two bones overlap, you can cut in between them and separate them. And then I love them, mate. Just scaling and just cooking them by themselves, mate. But a salt and pepper is bloody perfect.
Yeah, some people would prefer the wings even over the fillets, like the.
Yeah, I think it's more like fattier part of the thing too. Okay. Like it's got, and it's obviously it's on the bone, so it's I don't know if you're talking about like if it was a steak, it's more like a T-bone steak compared to like a Scotch fillet or something like that. Maybe.
Yeah, okay.
I know it's on the bone. It's more fatty, so it's
But
I love them, mate. And actually. The night before last night as well. Actually, I cooked a goldie. I cooked a whole goldie, baked in the oven. But like Asian style, like sweet and sour, like sticky sauce over the top of it. Once it was like 3/4 of the way cooked, but he poured some sauce over the top of it, and like homemade sauce with like just oyster sauce, soy sauce, fish sauce, chili, garlic, brown sugar, bit of oil, and and then you cook the sauce in the saucepan over there. On the stove for like 20 minutes, half an hour, like reduce it right down. Then when the fish is pretty well cooked, you just pour it over the top and then chuck it in under the grill for 5 minutes, and it goes bloody real nice. So the girls wouldn't eat it because the fish still had eyes, so they battered barramundi instead. Kate tried a bit, she liked it, but she just took some of the sauce and then ate a battered barra with the sauce. But they reckon it's still got eyeballs, no good that one. What else were we saying? It was Mish's last comp because Mish has been running comps for us for ages here for the last several years. Been organising Easter weekend comp, which is a big one, and then King Ash Bay Challenge, which is usually like July, I think maybe, whatever it is. Well, I can't remember now, but so she usually does all sorts of stuff for us like that, and also obviously the treasurer of the fishing club. Head caretaker for the last several years. So she's just finished up. That was her last comp, mate. She's moving away now for a bit. I think she's going to go spend some time in Tennant Creek with her partner. Yep. So, be sad to see her go, but she's been a great value to the club. So, and then, obviously we had our AGM. So, so I stood down from the president's position now as well. So we've got young Damon there now as president of the club, and a couple of new committee members as well. So.
And good to see some of the previous committee members have ran again, which was great to see.
Yeah, you really need that. Like, you really need it. Like, for continuity, you need, I reckon at least 3 people. It'd be nice to see executive committee people stay, but I think Secretary Kathy stayed on, so that's good. But we got a new treasurer, new vice president, new president, new public officer. And then. One new committee member as well. So but interesting to see how it all goes, mate. I think we had a handover meeting on Sunday, and that's why at the last fishing comp we only fished the one day because Sunday morning we had a handover meeting. So So I had to be back in for that. So I came back up first light Sunday morning, pretty much. Came back up the river and went to that meeting, did all the handover stuff with Damo and his crew. So they seem like it's going to be all good. I think, fairly positive outlook for the club for the next 12 months anyway.
Yeah, cool. Exciting times.
Yeah, a few years ago it was hard to get people to bloody put their hand up for stuff, so it's good to see people coming out and actually, and people that live here as well that are, good club members and that.
Yep, absolutely. There's other good stuff going around that the club. I see. What's the latest you've heard on that road?
Yeah, well, nearly finished. If it's not finished today, it should be finished tomorrow. So, cool. 22.5 k's of dirt, mate. It's all fully re-sheeted. It's like a highway now, mate.
Yeah, like several months of work coming to an end now. Yeah,
yep.
It's very, very exciting stuff.
Yeah, so, it's very good, mate. There should be no complaints about corrugations for a little while at least.
Not for a while, yeah.
So, it's like a highway, mate. If you can make it to Borroloola from Queensland or from Darwin or anything like that, mate, you won't be complaining about this bit of road because it's the best bit of road you'll see between here and Darwin.
Yeah. You need a beer, mate?
No. All good for a minute. Thanks, brother.
Yeah. What other club stuff? Do we have anything on the list?
I'll tell you what we did have a little while back, just whilst you're away at your cousin's wedding, we had a group of guys come in on Jetskis. We were going to try and line up a podcast with them, and then I was trying to work out if we could do it in Darwin. I was going to slip up to Darwin when they arrived there because I was hoping you'd be back at the same time, but I think you were still away when they were back there. So, but yeah, really, really, really cool bunch of blokes.
Yeah. And just to clarify, they arrived here on jet skis via water.
Yes.
Yeah. So tell us where.
Yeah, so I think there's I can't remember exactly how many there. I think there's about 8 blokes maybe.
Yeah.
And they all had a jet ski each, but then they had a couple of support vehicles. So I think they had 3 support vehicles. 3 support vehicles I think they had. And basically the support vehicles would be driving around with trailers with skis on them and spare skis.
Yeah.
And then they'd take turns because basically they're doing a circum-navigation of Australia by jet ski.
Oh, right.
So, and it's all raising money for Royal Flying Doctor Service.
Wow.
So, and I was really interested in talking to them guys. So the support guys turned up at the pub. As soon as they rolled in, I knew exactly what was going on because obviously I've been speaking to them before they were staying with us at the lodge. So as soon as they rolled in, had a couple of beers with them there at the club. And then they were just about to go and launch the skis and take fuel out to the other guys who were coming from Mornington Island. So they're doing about 300 and something Ks. And it was blowing like 30 knots that day too. And freezing cold. Like it had been down to like 4 degrees in the morning.
Oh.
So, yeah. So, just as they were about to launch their skis, the other guys turned up at the boat ramp. So, so they came from Mornington Island right the way across, up the Crooked, up the MacArthur and up to the boat ramp. And, I quickly went home, grabbed one of our boats, put it in the water so they could use the trailer to pull a couple of skis out. So they could do some running repairs and that. They had like a split fuel tank and bloody, a few bit of fiberglass they needed to do and bits and pieces and stuff because obviously been pretty rough running. And they're running like obviously big jet skis, big Yamaha jet skis. Yeah. But then they had like aluminium racks in the back with a spare like 4 or 5 jerry cans of fuel. So like an extra 100 litres or so of fuel on the back.
Yep.
And then a big custom aluminium tank in the front compartment as well.
Yeah, because fuel would be probably their biggest challenge, really.
Yeah,
other than crocodiles.
Yeah. Well,
as long as you keep moving, there's no.
In the river, they're probably doing 80 k an hour or something,
Yeah.
So they'll be going all right. But obviously out in the open water though.
If they're doing 300 k's non-stop, they need to carry fuel. Like,
yeah, for sure. So they had a few running repairs and stuff they needed to do, and then they came to the bar that night and did their own sort of raffles and stuff to raise some money. So they sort of passed the hat around, and then it was just unfortunate they were here. I think it was a Friday night, and on the Saturday night we had like the Joker draw.
Oh, there would have been heaps more people.
And
here.
the Joker draw was already at like $5,000 or something. So the Joker draw was already attracting most of the residents on a Saturday night.
So Friday was quiet.
Which makes Friday relatively quiet then. So there's probably only 40 odd people there. I think they still raised like about $1,000 or a bit over $1,000 for the Flying Doctor while they were here though. And they ran just one raffle. Because there just wasn't enough people to do more. But they did one raffle. They raffled off it was a buffalo cow's head, like it had been like properly washed and sealed and everything like that, but it had a real weird horns, like the horns had grown down instead of up. So it was like, yeah, that was pretty interesting. I think I've got some photos anyway. I'll show you.
Yeah, okay.
So so that was pretty interesting. They raised about $1,000 or something like that, and then they took off first thing the next morning and went from here direct to Groot Island.
Far out.
Yeah, so then they're going from Groot to Nullarbor, and then Nullarbor across the top of the Northern Territory, across the top of Arnhem Land.
Go get to Darwin.
And they were going to be at Darwin the following Friday, yeah. So, which, I was hoping we'd both coincide with them being there, arriving, because I was going to say we'll take the gear up there and try and have a chat to them then at the end, because that's the end of this leg of the trip.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, because the main bloke, the organiser sort of thing, he's doing every single leg by Jetski, so he's doing a full circumnavigation.
Yep.
Whereas the other guys are taking sort of turns between driving cars and driving skis. So
Rightio. Yeah.
So they might.
Wonder where they are now.
I think they'll be back home now, and I think they'll start their next leg.
Oh, so that they actually take a break at the end of a leg.
Yeah. It's not a non-stop thing,
okay.
obviously, because it'd take you a long time.
Yeah.
Obviously, a lot of logistics and stuff in there. And
I don't know what muscles you'd use on a jet ski, but whatever they are, they'd be built up by the end of the trip.
Yeah.
Crikey.
Yeah, covered in blisters and sunburn and bloody pretty. Pretty funny. I'll tell you what, it's pretty funny when they're launching all their skis first thing in the morning, first light, it's freezing cold down the boat ramp. There's a line-up of cars trying to get their boats in. And all these boys are putting their jet skis in at the ramp here, mate. They got some funny looks. So,
some of the old people here would think these guys are mad.
Oh, yeah. They got told several times, he's just stupid doing this rubbish and all the rest of it. And I think they didn't understand exactly what the story was. But
they're not anchoring up in the middle of the creek on a jet ski and fishing.
No. They're doing 80K now. You'd want to be a pretty good croc to to grab someone there. So and they obviously they're doing 3, 4, 5 skis at a time, side by side. So it's not like they're if they break down or something that they're going to be just stranded in the middle of the river.
Yeah.
They're I think they're pretty safe. And he's done it all, like he's done it at different places as well. I think he's been from like up the East Coast and then across to PNG before.
Oh, wow.
And like down, like, I can't remember where he was saying it was. Might have been down towards like down the bottom of Western Australia or down the bottom of South Australia somewhere where he's saying we're basically running along the cliffs. And he said in the waves it was like 12 metre bloody swell, and then with breaking waves on top of the swell. And like he said, he said he is easy. Like, even though it's rough and choppy, like once you work out what speed you got to go at, you sort of just sit there and just cruise, and she's all good. But he said he's definitely been in a lot more scary situations. He's not too worried about the crocodiles.
Yeah, far out. Just jogged a memory, speaking of going 80 k's an hour on the river and crocodiles. Yeah, so by now, I think I might have even mentioned it and shown the footage in a previous podcast when I was getting footage of a crocodile with my drone and I crashed it. I repaired my drone and it was working beautiful, and then I've crashed it again. I got footage of it again. I can show you footage. At least I got something to show for it. It still flies.
Sort of.
Yeah, so I was taking the buggy that's driving out bush here. Yeah, in the buggy. I thought, I'll get this strafing shot and try and get footage of me driving. So I'm literally driving the buggy and the drone at the same time. And there was a bit of a terrain change, and it went a little bit up into a higher area, and there was bigger trees there. So it went from that real scrubby country into actual bushland. And without even thinking, because I was like 10 metres above the trees when I was driving along. And then, so I'm looking down the screen, because I'm not even looking at the drone. I'm just looking at the screen and looking where I'm driving, looking at the screen and looking where I'm driving. And I look down and it's on the ground looking up at a tree, the trunk of a tree. And I look around and I'm like, oh, crikey, these are big trees around here. But yeah, so a good little feature on the drone that's beep and flash lights. You press that button and it starts beeping, and it was only 10 metres away from me when I picked it up, and it still flies, but it is broken though. But anyway, that was just a little memory you jogged of me. Speed and crocodiles. Anyway.
Well, speaking of speed, mate, we had Darwin Cup was just on too.
Oh, yeah.
Was that last weekend before last?
Yeah.
So, AGM weekend, because our AGM is always the Sunday before Darwin Cup.
Yeah, in the Northern
picnic
Territory.
day.
Yeah, that we get a public holiday on the Monday. We call it, it's called Picnic Day.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if any other state has a Picnic Day public holiday, but
Well, generally speaking, the AGM is that
Sunday of that
Sunday,
weekend.
yeah. I know it gets stuffed around when there's a leap year. I know there's issues with it sometimes.
Okay.
Well, not when there's a leap year. Because of the leap year, every so often it gets changed. But yeah, generally speaking, it's that first Sunday in August.
Yeah.
So so that Darwin Cup. Oh, guys, the first horse.
Race.
The first race, the guys that owned the winner of that, Red Wraith, I think its name was, guys from Alice Springs, they were on a houseboat here the week before, or the week leading up to the Darwin Cup, and they actually hired our one of our boats off us.
Yeah.
And when they're leaving, said, "Oh, what's the plan now? Oh, up to Darwin for the Cup. Oh, yeah, no worries. You've been there before. Yeah, no, we got a horse racing, mate. Just hopefully it'll do all right. You know, it's been doing pretty good for a cheap horse. It's been doing pretty good." So. I just asked what the name was. I'm pretty sure it was Red Wraith or something like that.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'll just chuck a sneaky $100 on it. It was paying good money too. It was paying like $8.50 something, or $9.50 something like that. So I was like, I'll just chuck $100 on it. Jesus, they gave me the money for the high boat anyway.
Yeah.
So I thought, nothing to lose. And then it ended up winning. Won by bloody half a lap.
Yeah.
Not quite, but very very convincing win anyway. So I was pretty bloody excited. I had to text him straight away. So and then since then I had like $1,000 in my sports bet account, mate. I ended up bloody having a bit of a play for the rest of the day, and ended up getting a couple other winners as well. And ended up picking the trifecta for the actual cup itself.
That's right. Yeah, I was with you for that. Yeah.
Got the actual trifecta. So I can't remember what I put on it, but that was like $800 something or something was the win for that as well. Yeah, we were trying to work it out before it actually came through, but.
And then all the horses stopped, and then the dog races started coming on, and Stripey for the win.
Oh.
If you're not familiar with number 2, lane 2 is always Stripey, the one with the black and white stripes. See, for me, I'm colourblind, so I struggle with if I'm watching the dogs, and I don't know what colour is what, so I just put, if I'm betting, it's on number 2 because I know it's Stripey. The one with the stripes, that's the one that I've got money on. So I don't vary my dog. I vary the price of the bet. If I don't think it's going to win, I'll only put $2 on it. If I think it's going to win, I'll put $20 on it. You know, yeah. So Stripey for the win. He wins 80% of the time.
Every time.
40% of the time. 40% of the time, I guarantee he'll win 80% of the time. My maths is solid. It's solid. Yeah. Anyway, gamble responsibly.
Yeah. Please.
What's your options? What are you risking? What's the other disclaimers we have? No, we're not sponsored. Yeah.
Yeah, we might buy a dog one day, mate.
Oh yeah. That'd be so good. Yeah.
It'll have to be Stripey.
Get on Patreon. Start getting some money behind us, and we'll get a dog.
Bloody hell.
Yeah. What else? Oh, there's a couple more little bits and pieces been happening around the golf that I want. On my drive down, I have put this in one of my episodes, but I thought I'd sort of share a bit more about it. So I was driving along, the Carpentaria Highway between Highway Inn and Borroloola, and literally a dude walking towards me in the middle of the road. At first, I think, there's a problem here. And then I see he's got a big trolley. I'm like, oh no, this is a guy. But every now and then you get someone doing something like this, whether it's on a push bike or whatever. We had Ferris Gump years ago come walking through here. But this guy, and then usually they're raising money for something or awareness for something. But no, this guy Ben, I pulled up and had a chat with him. Well, the first thing I did was I got 5 minutes down the road, literally, and I kept talking myself in and out of I should turn around and see if he's got enough water. And I know, Borreloo's just down there. He must have stocked up. And anyway, I'm like, nope, stuff it. I'm turning around. So I drove 5 minutes back, and then I pulled up next to him, actually scared him. And I go, you got enough water, mate? He's like, how much can you spare? I'm like, pull over. Yeah. And then I pull out a couple of just water bottles, like just standard little bottles to give him. And then he's standing behind me with a 10-litre jug empty. And holding this, I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, so I get one of them boxes of water, the Marble Hill ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just get that out and I say, here you go, mate. I'll set it up for him and go, you fill it up, take as much as you want. So he filled it up. I gave him a couple of beers. I tried to give him a rib fillet steak as well, because the beers were warm. and the steak was frozen. And I'm like, oh man, if you like, how do you cook, sort of thing? You know, if you can cook this tonight, yeah, you can keep your beers cold and you'll have something nice to cook tonight. And he declined the steak. He's like, oh, I just won't be able to cook it. I just won't be able to. But yeah, he's just walking. He started down at Merimbula, I think, in New South Wales a couple of years ago, and he's done over 240 walking days. He's walked all the way up Queensland, across the Savannah Way, that big dirt road, across from Queensland all the way.
So he's doing National Highway 1?
That's exactly what he's doing. Yeah, he's doing Highway 1 around Australia. That's his plan.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, so he's not. I asked him, like, are you raising money for something, or what's the go? And he sort of gave me a vague answer, but he sort of said, no, I just want to see Australia up close, and I don't. He said, I don't drive, so this is my option, sort of thing. I'm like, far out, you mad dog. And he's wearing sandals, like, yeah, it was pretty crazy. Yeah, so I was, sort of said, good luck, mate, and shook hands and off he went.
Bloody hell, that's a long walk.
Yeah, so he reckons he'll be in Darwin. He said, about 2 months he'll be in Darwin. So I'm like, well, I'll probably pass you, like when I'm driving to and from King Ash Bay, I'll probably pass him 2 or 3 times, you know, depending on if he's actually on the road that day, if he's actually walking, or if it might be a rest day or whatever. Yeah, so I might pass him several times.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, no, remember that year we on the Savannah Way, that dirt road, there was there was a young couple on push bikes.
Yeah.
Oh, I think we spoke about this on the podcast once before, and yeah, Bullfrog gave the young girl a rock.
Yeah. Of all the things you want when you're riding a push bike across the Savannah Way, the roughest road in the country. Yeah, that's exactly what you want to carry is a rock.
They stopped for it. We had beers though. We stopped for a beer with them and that, and just had a bit of a chat. Yeah, there's always interesting people. Doing weird and interesting things. But think that's something you brought up when we were talking about this Ben fella that's walking. Like, has he come face to face with a buffalo in the middle of the road? Like, if he's walked that far, he probably bloody has. Imagine the shit he's seen, the shit that scared him along the way. You know what I mean?
How many times has he nearly bloody stepped on a bloody snake, mate?
Yeah. Well, he's camping in the bush on the side of the road. He's not staying in wayside inns and stuff. He's literally just pulling up in the bush. Yeah,
keen.
Very keen.
Keen.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was one. And speaking of snakes, now you mentioned I was on the phone to my missus, the same night that I came home, you boys were on the houseboat of the fishing cop. Yeah, so I had come home, I'm on the phone to Jazz, and I go to walk out the little door there, and I see the biggest olive python I've ever seen coming towards me. I'm like, I'm like, speaking in gibberish. I'm like, snake, got to go, and then hang up. Yeah, so and I'm like, oh, and then my old man's so my parents are next door in the shed next door. I know my mum's down at the club. And I'm pretty sure my dad's home. So I'm like, Normie, like this, just yelling out. And and he's 3/4 deaf. So he didn't hear me. So I had to get my phone out and he's right next door. And he answered the phone and I'm like, come between the 2 sheds next to your house as soon as possible. And then 2 minutes later, he just comes dawdling around the corner. So he comes out. Anything with a snake, because I don't want it in my house. And I want to know where it is. So the most important thing you can do is keep your eyes on it. Just keep an eye on it. Because if it goes missing and you can't see it, you're like, I'm not going to sleep that night knowing that it could be in my house. You know. Anyway, so Normie's there. We have 2 flashlights now as it's starting to get dark. And you'll see, I've got heaps of footage of it. So you're probably watching footage. If you're on YouTube watching this, you can see how big this thing was. We got a bit closer. And I'm like, and I saw the size of the scales and the shape of the head. I'm like, that's not a python. That's not a python head. And we have a quick look, and just by the size of it, my old man's going, oh no, it's a big olive. It's a big olive. And so we end up sort of just following it and just trying to shoo it off into the bush, and then it ends up doing a big lap down behind Gary and Rosie's house here. Tom and Leon's and Gary and Rosie, and then it goes into Leon's shed. So we're yelling out to them, "You guys home?" And they come out, and Lee comes out and he looks at, oh yeah, big olive. And then his demeanour changed, quick as he's like, that's a brown. That's a brown. I'm like, I've been saying this. I'm not good at identifying snakes, but I'm pretty sure it is. So I know my mum is really good at identifying snakes. So because I was only videoing, so I quickly took 3 screenshots out of the videos and then sent them to my mum. and said, identify this right now for me, please. And she luckily got back and just with one word, brown. I'm like, it's a brown. So yeah, anyway, we shoot it we end up shooting it. And so I went long gone down the bush down there. Oh, I'm speaking really fast. As you can tell. Yeah, it was once you hear that brown. So yeah, and then after speaking, so that's the mulga snake, this one was, which is the king, known as the king brown, right? So this one, I think the quantity of venom that they have is ridiculous. Like
so they're not the most poisonous or venomous snake around, but they'll pump you full of it. But the amount of venom that they punch out is huge.
Yeah,
I think they've got the largest venom yield out of any snake.
Yeah. Oh, this is convenient. Yeah. Katie was going to bring a bag of ice around for us, 47 minutes ago. And she's just arrived now. Thanks, Katie. Yeah. But anyways, that was a very long-winded version of my mulga snake story.
Yeah, well, you don't see too many of them here, really.
That's why I wanted to bring it up. Yeah, because we did come across one that time, which I do, if I can dig up footage old enough. We probably got a little bit too close to it. Looking back at it, it wasn't a long extendable pole. The GoPro was on a long pole.
Yeah, and it was on the GoPro.
Yeah. Thanks, Katie. Yeah, just bust it up on that concrete. Wow, don't ruin the podcast. Thank you, Katie.
In uniform too.
Oh yeah, I'll get a secondary shot. This is not planned, but they're both wearing podcast shirts. Yes, please. Thanks, Katie. We'll leave all this in.
Yeah, why not?
Why not? We did it out at Brett's, where we had a beer stop. You had to go to the fridge. Hey, Chris.
Oh, bloody hell! Living the dream.
Yeah. Where's my little list? There it is. Oops,
I'm sure there's something else. Oh, we had the other fellas here. Cheers, Ant.
Thank you, sir.
You're a bloody legend.
Thanks, mate. Still got half a beer left here, but I'm just gonna.
We had some other fellas here the other day. Come across from North Queensland. The helicopters the other day.
Yeah.
Real nice fellas, eh? But having a chat to them. They're involved in, or a couple of them were involved in commercial fishing over in North Queensland.
Yep.
One of the guys for a long time had been involved in a lot of coral trout and trepang. So we've spoken about trepang before, and like the McCassins used to come down here and do trepang and stuff.
Yeah.
So it was very interesting talking to the guys that actually been in the commercial industry. I think he's sold most of his business now or whatever. But very interesting talking to them guys too about bloody all the hoops they had to jump through with all their different licenses and stuff, and all the sort of politics and stuff that involved in it. And
the industry's changed over the years and stuff like that. The funny part about it, like the most humorous part about the whole trip for me, when they were here, was we went around there to help them cook some crab, and they were going out fishing the next day. Yeah, so you and I went over, and they didn't need any help cooking the crab, so we just sat there and drank a bottle of rum.
We did so.
And they all start going to bed, and we're still there. Like, oh shit, we better go. We better get going.
Oh yeah. I hope they enjoyed it, mate. I think they did. I think they did.
Oh no, surely they did. We had great chats down the club. Oh yeah, I just got the thumbs up from Ant that the brisket temperatures
all good.
Yep, perfect.
Oh, look out. So that was. I'm just trying to think who else has been through lately, mate. There's been always plenty of people.
We always give an update on Big Pete when Big Pete's getting here.
Oh, please.
For about 4 months, we've been talking about, Big Pete gets here soon. And he was due 2 weeks ago officially, and then car problems, and then he was due yesterday. Then he's due today, but no, he'll be back tomorrow, allegedly.
Yeah, he should be here tomorrow.
Yeah, I think he's at the Daily Waters tonight. Yeah,
he blew his bloody diff up on his Toyota, bloody wearing down near Marla somewhere.
Yeah.
So I think he said he went over a grid or something like that and bloody lost all drive in his Toyota. Just it was very unfortunate because I did have a spare diff housing and axles and everything, but I've already given them to somebody else the other day. So said if it wasn't for that, I would have just chucked them back in the back of the ute, slipped down there, and then bloody put the new diff housing in, put it back together, and then just towed his trailer for him until he got here at least.
Yep.
And he could have got it sorted out however he wanted to do with whatever. I think, yeah, he was trying to do some sort of an upgraded bloody thing as well at the same time because he had to replace the whole shooting match. I think he had to replace the housing. I think the only thing he didn't have to replace was the center. He had to replace the housing, the bloody axles, bloody bearings, everything. So pretty much the whole shooting match. So
we got to see the sights and sounds of Alice Springs for the last 2 weeks.
Well, he rang me this morning because I was expecting him here this afternoon because he was going to come stay with us, and I was expecting him tonight. And he rang this morning from Elliot. And he goes, "I'm not going to make it today. I'm an old man. I can't drive that far, and I've been on night shift for the last 10 days in Alice Springs. I'm worried about his shit getting stolen while he's asleep in the caravan park."
Night shift.
So he's just gone to Daily Waters today, but he should, by all accounts, he should be here around lunchtime, just after lunch tomorrow. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, so that's the big Pete update. So yeah, we'll have I don't think he's keen to come on the podcast, but he is going to. We're just gonna.
Oh yeah. He'll be on next week.
Yeah.
Tomorrow,
if he gets here. Oh dear.
No, he should be here tomorrow. So
you got anything else on your list, Russ? I'm struggling for start. In fact, I did want to give a thumb update.
Any doctors out there?
No, serious. It's a problem. It literally aches at night. Like I could still bend it. It's clearly not broken. This is where I got stabbed by that cod a few weeks back. I went to the doctor, got antibiotics because it was like really starting to hurt, getting worse each day. I'm like, I've got a drama. So I do hear about like bacteria and stuff from fish spikes and that. Anyway, so the antibiotics seemed to work and it came good. And then, I don't know. So it's all healed over, but it freaking hurts at night. So I need to, I'm going to have to go and get it bloody x-rayed, or I don't know what they'll do, ultrasound, x-ray, something like that, to see if there's something in there. Even earlier, like I was trying to tighten this and using my thumb. Anyway, that's just me whinging about my thumb. Please don't unsubscribe.
You've been shaking Ant's hand too many times.
Ant has the freaking strongest handshake. It is ridiculous. I always go up for the fist bump. Yeah.
Oh, bloody hell. What else was I going to say then? I had something else. Can't remember now.
Oh, my thumb was way more important, mate.
I think it was. Definitely, mate. Yeah. Oh, no, I was going to say that now that I'm not president anymore, I've got some jobs lined up to get done, which you're going to help with one of them, which is a big one, which is our Barkley Bulls and Barra tournament at the end of the year.
Exciting times.
Ant's running away. there's dust from his Toyota. He's out of here. So no. We've spoken about it a little bit, but now that I don't have too many other commitments, I can jump like full noise into that now and start getting that organised. So we have mentioned it before. We mentioned it, I think, the first time with Lockie when we did the podcast with Lockie a while back, But more or less, we've got some entertainment already sort of booked in. We're going to have a bull ride. It's pretty much just going to be like an open bull ride, like probably first, second, and third place, and then just a barra comp over that weekend. But it's going to be a pretty big deal, I think. I think we're going to get quite a few people in. So
because it's that time of year, there's not going to be tourists here at that time of year. It's mid-November.
It's the whole idea of this is for station people and people that work on cattle stations and properties around the top end of the Gulf country. They can finish their mustering and that for the year before everyone knocks off for Christmas. They can come and have a bit of a cutout party here. Do a bit of fishing, enjoy King Ash Bay for what it's supposed to be here for doing a bit of fishing and stuff, without all the tourism sort of side of things as well.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we love our tourists and that as well, but we just want to have an event that like local Territorians and stuff can get behind, and and people that live in the region can actually get behind. Because generally speaking, when we have stuff throughout the year, everyone's flat out. If you're on a cattle station, you're not going to get holidays in the middle of the year because everyone's flat out there. Yeah. Bloody working with cattle all day, every day. So, the idea of this is to get them people to be able to have a bit of fun at the end of the year. So, and I'll be chasing sponsors for that as well very shortly. So, if anyone's keen, if they're keen to get involved with that, you can let us know at
email. What do you want? Like the guys in the golf?
Yeah,
guys in the golf at gmail.com. Guys in the golf @gmail.com.
Perfect. Yeah, or send us a message on Messenger or something like that. Whatever.
Do that because we don't check our email address. So send us a message instead.
I do so. At least once a month. Whether it needs it or not.
Just send a message.
Yeah. Send us a message.
Yeah.
So if you're keen, if you got a business or something you want to support that, sponsor some of that. That'd be excellent, mate. We'll be chasing some people up very shortly.
Yeah, there'll be all sorts of stuff that we need help with.
Yeah,
because it's going to be a big event. A lot of people here, a lot of people having a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. So one day bull riding, the next day fishing.
Yep, it'll be pretty much Friday bull ride and then the weekend for the fishing comp.
Yep.
So
yeah,
and we'll have 2 nights of entertainment. It'll be Friday, Saturday night entertainment.
Yep.
Which I won't say who's coming, but it's a very, very well known in the music scene in Australia. Very, very prominent. Does like things like Mount Isa Rodeo, I think, and all the big venues around Queensland and stuff, rodeos and shows and things like that. So races and all that sort of stuff. So be very, very well known to all of the demographic that'll be attending the event. So we won't say who it is just yet until we've got it all.
Yep.
All 100% signed off on, but yeah, we've got it all lined up now. So it's very exciting though.
Yeah.
Be very exciting, mate.
Yeah. Well, it's less than 3 months away. So probably a few things to start organising. Yeah. Yeah.
What else?
I reckon we should just move straight on to some song nominations for our golf mud crabbers playlist.
Song nominations, Roger. You want to go with one first?
Yeah. Look, I'll go. I'm going to do 2. I'm going to do 2.5 today. We'll get to the half a little bit later, which we can talk about why. It's a bit of a wobbly one, but the first 2. So bit of a family one this podcast. I mentioned my cousin getting married over in Hamilton Island earlier. I've got another cousin who is 100% Australian born, but he happens to live in Germany. He moved over there quite a few years ago now to sort of pursue his music career. And he's still doing that. He's still, I guess, trying to sort of break through still, but he has worked with some big name artists. He's a incredible guitarist. He studied guitar at university even. Singer, songwriter. He's collaborated with a lot of sort of I don't even know what you'd call them, dance, electronic music style artists in Europe, like big name artists in Europe and stuff like that. So 2 of his songs. The one I'm going to choose is called Run, Run, Run by him, which I'm going to pull a number out of the top of my head. He's had 20 million or 40 million plays on Spotify with that song. So that's his biggest song on there, which was a collaboration with someone. So that song there, yes, I give that one a listen. We're going to put that on the playlist. And the other one is actually, it's on Spotify. I don't know how he's done it, but it's like his own version of a Rod Stewart song. I Don't Want to Talk About It by Rod Stewart. And I bloody love it. I reckon it's catchy as. I reckon if some people can get behind it, it's a Rod Stewart song made modern. It's like I don't know what he's done with it, a folky, modern, surfy vibe to it. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but yeah, I really like it. So those are the 2 songs. So my cousin Kyle, he should have mentioned his name. His name's Kyle Pierce. And check him on Spotify. He's got plenty of songs on there. I'm going to add those 2 songs to the playlist. I'll go to my half at the end. What have you got one?
Oh, I was struggling. I was struggling, mate, because I just hadn't thought about it much, and then I just sat down here before and went through some of my favourites. But I don't know if we've got. I think we've got one Blake Shelton song which you put on there.
Yeah.
Which is God's Country.
Yeah.
Which was written by Hardy, I think.
I've only found that out recently because there's a video on TikTok of Hardy doing that at a concert and saying that he wrote it. I'm like, what? Because Hardy, he was a songwriter before he was actually broke out with his own thing. Yeah.
So which is a great song, Blake Shelton song. But there's another one which I think it's not an original song from him. I can't even remember who it's written by now, and I think it was actually recorded back in like the 80s or something like that, maybe by one of the old like well-known bloody country music artists. But he's re-recorded anyway. Old Red is the name of the song. Yeah. And it's basically about a bloke who ends up in prison for, the song starts with he caught his wife in bed with another man and it cost me $99 at a prison farm in Georgia, close to the Tennessee line. And he goes on that he got along well with the warden, and his job was looking after the warden's dog, Old Red. And then so he decided he was going to escape prison, so he got his cousin to bring down a blue tick hound that was on heat, and then hid it in the woods just outside the prison gates. And instead of taking him for his evening walk like he was allowed to do, he let him go, and he went straight to where the other dog was on heat.
Yep.
And then he ran away in the opposite direction. That's basically the gist of the song. But then he's got bars now in America called Old Red, and I went to both of them. Two of them, one in Nashville and one in Vegas. And two of my favourite places. They were really, really, really fun bars to go to.
Only country music can do that and tell a whole story like that in a song. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah. So anyway, that's my song. And then we got the other one.
A joint nomination, because we spoke about this beforehand about if it's a proper wobbly song, we have to both fully agree with it. This is a song that Ash actually introduced me to. I don't even know how long ago, but we were on the boat and I literally said, "What's this shit?" And then more recently, I've heard it again and watched the video clip for it, and it actually is a really powerful, very odd piece of music, but it tells an incredible story. And this guy's a lyrical genius and a performance genius. Mm-hmm. Tell us what it is, Ash.
High Ren.
High Ren by Ren, I think it is.
Yeah,
I think that's the artist title as well. Ren.
Yeah,
High Ren.
Yeah, but the whole, and it goes for like 9 minutes or something. It's long. But yeah, basically it's a guy talking to himself out of his. Talking to the voice in his head, basically,
yeah,
and the voice
almost
in his
like
head.
a split personality sort of thing.
Yeah. So, and I like how did I come across that? I reckon my mate Chris that picked us up.
Big Mac,
yeah. Big Mac, yeah. I think Chris put us onto that. Ages and ages ago. So. But yeah, very, very interesting song, mate.
Yeah.
So, and you got to listen to the words of it. You got to listen to the lyrics of it. It's one of them. Like you can't just listen for it just for the music, because that won't do you any favours.
Yeah, I reckon you and even do yourself a further favour if you want to experience it properly. Yeah, you need to see the video for it.
Watch it. Yeah, you go and watch it on YouTube.
Yeah,
go watch it on YouTube. That's the real go.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. All right, well, let's start to wrap it up, mate. I reckon it's been.
Speaking of wrapping it up.
Speaking of wrapping it up.
You got to wrap up brisket.
Oh, crikey. All right, I'm not on the ball today. I was just literally going to say how rusty I feel. I feel like that I've been all over the place today. It's been a few weeks out of practice doing the podcast, and I feel like I've just rambled on the whole time, which is probably not far from what I usually do, but yeah. Yeah, so I do need to wrap that brisket up and let it rest for several hours.
Go and get amongst it.
Yeah, cool. All right, mate. Well, yeah, let's now that we've got back into it, let's we'll try and make this a bit more regular, eh?
Righto, mate. Too
Cool.
easy.
All
Shut
right.
it down, Bruss.
Shut it down. Oh.
Oh, look at that.
Guides in the Gulf.